What's up guys, Lifting here. I finally gotten around to getting my Cobra Lash Assassin into endgame, and I've heard some rumors or people saying that they think Cobra Lash single target damage sucks. I disagree with that, but in this video I'm going to show you the skill up against some of the endgame bosses, and I'll let you make up your own mind. The first one we're going to do is Argus, then Isaro, Uber of course, and then head into each of the Guardians, and then Shaper. And we're starting with Argus here. The best thing is of course to, when you do single target damage, to remove your greater multiple projectiles, and I use Void Manipulation instead. But for something like Argus, I honestly don't really feel like it's gotten to a point where that's definitely not necessary, as you can see. So let's head into the Isaro fights now. Okay, we have the minions here. We want to kill him fast before, and I think that's what happens with Cobra Lash. It's why it's not exactly the best Uberlap killer, because these skills chain and you aren't always in control. So in this case it chained back to this one. Now I won't get the full keys from this, but either way you still saw the damage. If you remove greater projectiles for a fight like this, there's a less chance that the projectiles will chain back onto it. But yeah, I could probably just have attacked him 2 times and that would have been enough, but I just wanted to blast him. Alright, next phase. Weirdly enough, it shows them as being there, so maybe we did get the key. Phase 2 coming up, and here we want him to be charged, or let him get charged up by these guys so we can get the extra key. I'll take care of these things, and I think, yeah, I changed over to that, so we'll have to wait a little longer. Alright, we'll do some nice circle movements here. Alright, 1 charge, and then we just want the last one there. And then we can kill him. And then we're good. And phase 3 coming up. I just want to mention that I haven't been using my Plague Bearer at all either while we do this. I'll use it for the other fights, but first. But yeah, it just isn't really necessary. Alright, we did actually get the 3 keys. That's weird. Didn't it die before? By the way, let's open these before we continue. Oh yeah, there's that Whispering Tome thing. Alright, nice. Let's just do this, the Prophecy, so we can get Inya's key. And a crafting recipe. Prefixes cannot be changed. Excellent. In case you're curious about what enchant we will get, we can do that real quick. We got dual strike attack speed. That's actually not too bad on this here. We can sell that. Alright, now let's do Guardians. And Minotaur, we will avoid his charge. Use our Plague Bearer when it's... Yep. And that's the nice thing about evasion here. Feels pretty good. And we're good. Excellent. Oh fuck, I forgot to press record. Chimera. This is... yeah. We get him through out of the clouds. And Chimera has, as far as I remember, very high chaos resistance, so he's probably the tankiest of them for our setup here. He used to be poison immune. Alright, I'm just gonna skip over the other minion phases here, because that may not be too interesting for you to watch. But we'll let this one here run out. He should spawn in just a few seconds. Did we kill the boss yet? Of the minions? No, here we go. Cloud phase again. Nice thing about evasion again. Let's avoid that. And there we go. We should have him in the other phase. We'll skip here. And he's back. Cloud phase again. Ooh. That was a nasty bleed. There we go. Let's do Hydra now. Alright, time for Hydra. Let's just swap our Void Manipulation or greater multiple projectiles with Void Manipulation. Put up the totem for attack speed. Go in, we'll use Blight for the extra damage bonus. And then start to wean her down with Plague Bearer activated. I should have stopped it there. I let it charge out, so it's not going to be at full now when I engage again, but there we go. Should be fine. Yeah. And I think we're good. Excellent. Phoenix time. And Blight for the damage debuff. Move away. And he's not really close enough for my Plague Bearer to really work. Yeah, I could play a little more aggressively there and get him, but still, it works, right? Alright, let's do it. And we'll just let the poison start to ramp up. And I think we got all the damage we need. Yeah. So either, yeah, phase change, perfect. The dude. And there we go. I didn't use my Blight before either, I think. Do that now. Start to build up the poison stacks. And okay. I have to go through this. I'm not sure if he may need a few more hits. Whoa. What the hell? Yeah, we'll have to wait for this phase. I'll just cut that out. Now let's get him to... Yeah, it was just 1 or 2 hits. Here we go again. Alright, time for phase 3.
Be sacrificed.
To meet Exile, quickly!
And we need to let it ramp up here. Use a Plague Bearer too. And there we go. So, yeah. So, at least I think some of you can follow me when I say that I don't think Cobra Lash have any issues with single target. I actually think it's a pretty amazing single target skill. Where some people might get confused if they only look at it at a brief glance is that because it is a poison based, typically poison based build, then you have to wait for the poison stacks to build up for it to be effective. So when you start doing those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, I can count, hits, then initially it doesn't look that impressive, but as soon as the poison stack starts to build up, it really takes off, and I've had no issues dealing with anything in the game with this skill. But I also think it might also be because people sometime when they start leveling with the skill early on in the game, the first thing they do is to link it with lesser multiple projectiles. And that is nice when you are just clearing and trying to progress. But because your poison damage is so low to begin with, or in the start, the lesser multiple projectiles, while it doesn't affect the poison damage specifically, it does mean that you aren't using another support gem that directly improves your poison damage. So it feels... It doesn't feel too good early on single target wise, at least not if you're using lesser multiple projectiles. And I honestly don't think you need to use lesser multiple projectiles for a while either, because the skill changes 3 times I think to begin with, and you can definitely do that. I think I'd wait with lesser multiple projectiles until at least until you have a 4 link. Another thing is that early on, one thing that greatly helps you with your single target is Plague Bearer. Plague Bearer stores up some of that poison damage you've dealt for you to then release it over time. And this is a huge help for single target problems early on, and I think it's a mistake to not use it. The only thing that really supports Plague Bearer that we can make proper use of is either increased area of effect. I don't use that, but I have linked it to Empower, because the higher level the skill becomes, the more damage you can store up, and it gains a bit of radius too. So definitely make sure you use Plague Bearer. For anything else but the Guardians and Shaper and Uber Elder, I will be using Greater Multiple Projectiles. It just isn't worth it to swap out the gem. It isn't necessary. You could do the Guardians and Shaper pretty easily with Greater Multiple Projectiles too if you want. But yeah, I kind of wanted to demonstrate it with the optimal setup. If I had to give like my final thoughts on Cobra Lash, then I think it's a very solid skill right now that if it's played correctly, and if one enjoys the poison type of playstyle, then it's a very solid skill. It's great for map clearing, it's great for bossing, and when using it with the Assassin and the Mistwalker and elusive buffs, it just becomes a very satisfying build, balanced build overall, because it actually has pretty decent defensive utility too, with the high dodge change you get from Mistwalker and the damage reduction, plus the evasion you'll be getting on your gear and scaled via your skill tree. And then if you pop in something like a steel skin too, cast on damage taken, that helps mitigate those hits you sometimes get when you are playing evasion. It's a solid skill. I could see myself playing this again, but now I do want to start a new build and I have to figure out what that's going to be. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. I've pasted or linked the Path of Building pastebin to this too. There's leveling trees in there. And there are, make sure you check out the notes section too for some general quick advice that I've written down for anyone who wants to try it out. I do want to say though, if you're new to the game or aren't exactly like the patient type, then try something else, because it's not exactly a highly complex build, but it is more complicated than playing melee Cyclone, for instance. You kind of need to understand some mechanics to make the best of it, and I don't want you guys to get a bad experience. But if you do consider yourself intermediary or just have the patience to try and understand it, then I think you'll be very happy with it. Either way, thank you for watching. Thank you, my dear patrons and bros. Oh, and members of course. And bros, do you even nerd?